The American Association of Nurse Practitioners held their annual policy conference this week in D.C., and a Mainer was at the forefront. Farmington-born Valerie Fuller serves as AANP president, the first Mainer to hold the position. She and more than 30 other nurse practitioners were in the nation's capital for the four-day conference, which wrapped up yesterday. One of Fuller's main focuses is a proposed Department of Education rule change that excludes nursing from the professional degree category. Fuller says that would limit the amount of federal student loans available to students aspiring to become an NP.
We know that nurse practitioners are the backbone of healthcare. Last year, we performed over 1 billion patient care visits. We know that, for example, in rural areas, nurse practitioners provide care to about 66% of Medicare beneficiaries in those areas. And this is not the time in our nation's journey to defund nursing and not give people access to the loans that they need to complete this educational program to become a nurse practitioner.
She encourages anyone interested to write to the Department of Education opposing the rule change. There's resources available on AANP.org that can help you write those letters.